All right, let me tell you about my drive-in experience. It was my first drive-in ever. Apparently out here in Ontario, it's pretty common. I think because they have a lot of room, a lot of space, so it's very common. But for where I'm from, we didn't have drive-ins. We're in the future. And during the pandemic, I'm not going to go to a movie theater, even though they try to lure you in with releasing the Star Wars movies back into the theaters. You can see Empire Strikes Back. Sure, it's going to be probably a version where Luke falls and screams and all the extra stuff added in, but come on. I can take the changes he made to watch 98% of my favorite movie of all time, but I didn't go watch it. I was thinking dress up like a stormtrooper or Darth Vader. Have a real proper gas mask ventilator. And then Tenet comes out, and Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors. Even though I can acknowledge that his movies are definitely far from perfect, although I will say Dunkirk I think is probably almost perfect. His movies like Interstellar, I love so much of what he does in the movies that I can forgive the parts where he talks about love as a powerful force and kind of the whole Tesseract ending and all that stuff. I can see past the things that don't work for me because he's so ambitious and he does such a good job with that stuff. So when Tenet was coming out, I really, really wanted to see it in theaters in an IMAX. I mean, the guy shoots on 70mm IMAX film. The least we can do is go watch it in the IMAX to keep that alive. Like Quentin Tarantino. Oh, I love Tarantino. Like Quentin Tarantino said, he feels like he's getting ripped off when people are putting movies in the theater and they're on basically video. It's like, I can just stay at home. I have a theater. I can watch a DVD. I can stream it in my house. He's got an amazing setup, obviously, and it's really not that expensive to have a big TV and a good sound system now. So film is the real thing. And also, when film costs so much, you're very deliberate with what you're doing. A lot of filmmakers, if you're making something cheaper or faster, you can set up 2 or 3 cameras, you can get your coverage, you can do a lot of takes, you can just take the best ones and cut it together. Which sometimes is going to give you accidental good stuff, but it becomes more of an accident when it's good. Whereas Tarantino and Nolan, they envision what they want that to look like, and there is no second camera. It's going to be, this is exactly how I want it to be and how it's going to happen. I mean, Tarantino plays the movie in his head for months and months before he makes it, or like years before he makes it. Everything's planned out perfectly, and that's what's great about film. Because it's expensive, it has to be good. So, it's like Jack White saying, a lot of the times, about back to deadlines we were talking about, Jack White says he can be really lazy with making music, but when he books a session, and he's like, if I book a session, I got the girls coming over to sing the harmonies, I better have those songs done. And then he writes all the songs the night before. And then he's recording to tape, probably, because he's that kind of guy that doesn't have a cell phone and records to some old tape machine. So it's got to be good. You can't go in there and just cut it up and make it better. So anyways, I really wanted to see Tenet. And me and Stella were on vacation, and a lot of going on vacation with your girlfriend is going to be stuff they want to do. Quaint towns. Shopping. And I've found a way to enjoy those places. Go to thrift stores, look for speakers and amplifiers and stuff, and you look for gifts. Or I find a bookstore or something because I bought one book. Coffee shops. So I think that she wanted to find something for me to do at night, and they had a drive-in. And I thought, oh cool, yeah, they'll probably be playing some old movies. No, they're playing Tenet. And we go to it. We're front row. I'm really paranoid that my rear lights are on. So I'm like, okay, I want this to be on accessory, so we have the radio. Of course, every 20 minutes, the radio turns off because it has some stupid power-saving feature. So then I'm like going back to slightly on and then back to accessory, and I'm thinking, are my lights on every time I'm doing this? I don't like to disturb people. And there was some idiot behind me where every once in a while their headlights would come on. They didn't seem to mind. But watching it in a drive-in is different. Because you're in a car, you can talk. And we were also eating dinner in the dark. So we're like grabbing all this food, and it's really distracting. I wouldn't really recommend, in the normal times, I wouldn't want to see a Christopher Nolan movie or a movie I want to pay attention to at a drive-in, I would want to go to a drive-in and watch like old favorites, you know, watch a marathon of movies, like watch The Room at a drive-in, or just like movies you've seen before that you want to see with your friends, because you can't talk, right? It's just you guys in the car. But Tenet, which requires a lot of attention to the dialogue, Tenet is basically, without being spoiled, without spoiling it, Tenet is sort of like the heady weirdness of Inception, those like kind of mind-bending concepts of Inception, the more technical nerdiness of Interstellar, but a sort of like charm that you don't see in a lot of his movies. It's kind of like him trying to make a James Bond movie. A lot of charisma and action and guys in suits and stuff. A lot of style. But then also being a nerd about it. It's a very nerdy James Bond. And I think the movie sort of it shoots itself in its foot by constantly trying to explain things. Whereas they should just show. It's a little bit too much tell and not show. But overall, there's a lot there to like. And it's very, very confusing, and then all of a sudden, it reveals itself, and it becomes clever, and then it gets even cleverer. And like most Nolan movies, it seems confusing, and then really clever, and then you think about it and you go, that's not clever, and then you kind of come around to it and you go, yeah, overall, it's pretty good. You saw Up in the drive-in? Oh my god, I watched, when I got Disney Plus, I put on Up, and I thought, I'll watch this, see what everybody's talking about. I was not prepared. It was at night, Stella's asleep beside me, I got my headphones on, I got the laptop on my chest, and I'm watching the first 10 minutes of Up, and I'm just crying my eyes out. That's one of the best sections of a film, of movie, ever. I didn't watch the rest of the movie. I didn't get to see... No, you're like, oh, a Pixar movie. Oh, cartoon characters. Oh, they're in love. Oh, what's happening? Oh my god, when he finds the book. That was the journey all along. Getting a little wet-eye right now, just thinking about it. Oh my god. Oh. Let's see here. When you used to do more photography, someone more experienced than you said something along those lines. Leave the digital camera at home. Take a film camera and consider every shot you take a little bit more. Yeah, that's right. You know what I love too is that Stella brought a Fujifilm Insta camera, and when you take it, it doesn't matter how good the shot is. You now have a physical copy of it, and they're great gifts. I saw a friend in Toronto that I rarely get to see. He's one of my best friends, and I took a photo of myself. We were, 6 feet apart, so I took one of me and him in the background, and then I gave it to him, and he took one of us, and then we just swapped them. Actually, no, I gave him those two because they're kind of a series, and then I kept one that he took, and they're great because I have like 6,000 digital photos. But it's very overwhelming to look at them and find them and to really do anything with. I should get some photo paper and start just printing them out and doing something with them. Try to keep them around, Milk duds during the fight scenes, you milk dud. Whispering is totally fine during movies. None of your friends are movie buffs? Yeah. I know that people are really into series now because of streaming, and if they want to get it. I understand, like, yeah, if you like watching something, you want to get into it and have this long form. There's more there, the more the merrier. But for me, I like what a movie can do because I like getting in for 2 hours and you're out. And it has to tell the whole story in 2 hours. You can't have a filler episode. I really like that. It's kind of the same thing of that thing of like shooting on film, is that you have to tell a good story. Everything needs to be perfectly done. Everything needs to be meaningful. Everything in a movie should be meaningful. The font of the credits. Well, the title sequences. They used to just throw the credits up on the screen, and then title sequencing became an art form of itself. I would really like to do a watch party, but our upload is just so bad here that I just don't think it would be good unless we did something where people were watching it on their own devices, and then we just kind of had this open as a chat and a hangout. But then everybody would have to have the same streaming service, right? Or you could find something that's on YouTube that's free or something. I would like to, though. Remember they were showing 2001: A Space Odyssey in theaters recently. You really wanted to go. Recently, like post-pandemic? That's a great movie to see in the theaters, too. You need to get sucked in. Yeah, series are good for character development. A series is more like a book. Where you have... Because they're about the same amount of time, you know? I mean, a lot of books are, 6 hours to read? Between 6 and... 6 hours is sort of a shorter book. 8 to 10 hours for a longer novel. So, if a series is an hour long, that's about 6 episodes, 10 episodes. So I think one season of TV is Kuniv. You got it. Kuniv. Yeah. Yeah, we were going to do a watch party of The Room back when I had awesome internet, but now it's just been bad. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get a different studio or something. Now's not really the time for that, or maybe it could be the best time. Niv. Like give. Kuniv. I was pronouncing it how I would pronounce it if I was in Hungary or Europe. Kuniv. Sounds like a type of gun. That's an SK-42 Kuniv. James Bond used it in the 1979 movie Russian Doll on a Beach. Kuniv. This is Kuniv. Movies. I was so excited for Dune. I'm glad they pushed it back because I want to see that properly in a theater. Denis Villeneuve. The work that he did on Arrival, Sicario, Blade Runner has all been leading up to this. And actually, the reason that Hans Zimmer didn't do the score for Tenet is that and it's like the first Nolan movie he hasn't done in a long time, is that he was a big fan of Dune as a child or a teenager, and he wanted to score it. So we should be getting a very inspired Hans Zimmer on Dune. I love the cast. I love the look of it. The perfect director who understands that slow wait that Dune needs. And practical effects. Digital will always be there. Even in movies with a lot of practical effects, there's tons of digital stuff going on. But digital stuff that is done in the service of the practical effects and not very, obviously artificial. Zendaya, she's going to be awesome. Oh my god. In an alternate reality, the Dune movie would be awful and Mila Kunis would be in the Zendaya role. It'd be like, what was that one with her and Dog Boy? Channing Tatum. The Fairley siblings. No, the Wachowski siblings movie. No, was that their movie? Dog Boy and Mila Kunis? Or was that the fella that did The Fifth Element? I can't keep all this stuff straight. So Dune's been delayed, but I think that's a good delay. I want to watch that properly. I'm really pumped for when Tenet is available at home so I can watch it again with good speakers or great headphones, big TV. Should probably get a 4K TV. It's amazing. I was watching, somebody had restored some old footage from like the 60s or 70s. And it's not even restoring it. They were remarking on how clear it looked. Because the film they were filming on back then was like beyond a 4K quality. There's so much resolution there that it's now that you have the potential to see it on home screens, it still looks better than stuff from like 2005. But I understand, like, there's some stuff that you can do with a digital camera you can't do with a film camera. They're smaller, they're handheld, you know, you can go out on a rowboat in the middle of the ocean, or you can hold it in your hand and crawl around. So there's benefits there. Anyways, that's movie talk for this week.